Hi guys, welcome back. Now I don't know whether you've noticed something, but check out that side of my seat. What's missing? Now you might not be able to see it from the angle, but usually you can. Some fat, I'm not going to use the word, but put it this way, it begins in a C and ends in a T, has ripped that armrest off. I mean, literally, I don't know how much that camera's actually going to pick up down here, but he's ripped it off. Come on, change it. You sit there and think, why would you do that? What? Why? Why would you rip an armrest off? What's the point? You're causing damage for damage's sake, basically. It's probably some jaded truck driver. Because there's a truck driver wandering around site with that silicone spray spraying on everything, including the bleeding floor. Fortunately, this one hasn't been sprayed yet. But I'm going to hazard a guess. It's some jaded agency guy who wasn't taken on full time by the company at the last round of employment, and he's just damaging things for the sake of damaging it. I've seen crash cam, we've got forward facing crash cams in this thing. I've seen the wiring having been ripped. I've seen these boxes, microlized things having been ripped out. Armrests, obviously you get the end bit being ripped off. Obviously this one's been ripped out. Silicone spray all over the inside of the cab, including the floor, so when you go to get in it, you could literally do a 8 foot drop to your death, basically, if you land head first on concrete from right here. Words are beginning to fail me. If I find the person who's doing it, we're going to have words. But anyway, on with my day. And today is a glorious day. A beautiful, a wonderful day. I have Peterborough, and then back to Derby. Back to where I got the puncture. Now, if you haven't been following me on Twitter, yesterday I got a puncture whilst I was at the place in Derby, but it was after I'd ended my footage. It had put all my cameras away and everything like that. So I took a couple of photos, walloped it on Twitter, and I know a few of you guys have seen it, but not everybody would have done. But my trailer basically got a nail in it whilst it was on dock. When I reversed on dock, so it wasn't a nail, it was an old bolt of some description. And I'd reversed onto dock, and obviously reversed over this bolt, and I was being loaded with exceptionally, I ended up being about virtually 42 tonne ish, and then and I got back to it. Now, one thing I always do, because you can't trust docks, this is a word of advice for all you new guys. Let me just set my cruising speed up, 48.2, yes, that's the one. With an overspeed of +3 today. This is a word of advice for all you new guys. When you reverse on dock and get live loaded, live tipped, whatever, unloaded, reloaded, whatever it is, you're waiting with your trailer. You cannot trust what has been on that dock before you, or any repairs that have been made to that dock before you got there. So there could be old bolts lying about, nails lying about, all kinds of things. The other thing is, does anybody know how annoying those custom seals on containers are? They're two very solid bits of plastic with what ends up being a spike, a very sharp spike when they're split, when they're cut, when they're open, linking them together. Well, you roll over one of those going onto dock, and guess where they're usually broken? Going onto dock. That's going to go through your tyre. So when you have been loaded or unloaded, before you pull away, when you go and close your doors, because you've got to go close your doors anyway, or at least seal up your roller shutter. When you do that, look at all of your tyres, because you will be amazed how many people don't, and they end up leaving with a partially flat tyre, lot of weight on, and then they get a blowout going down a motorway. I don't know how that happened. So always Recheck everything when you pull off of a dock, because you don't know what you've rolled over. Okie which is the only reason I call the half flat tyre. See, the thing is, when I come off dock, you know, I'll start up everything, the suspension moves itself, I roll forward, slightly up a hill. Your back tyres, your rear axle tyres will look flatter than the rest of them, because you're rolling uphill, rolling off of a dock, your unit is now raised up, you've got a lot of weight on, and it's the back axle that's going to have the most wallop on it. So they will look slightly flatter. And, you know, at the corner of your eyes, you're walking down thinking, oh, I'll see a flat tyre. No, you won't. You really won't. You won't notice it. Now, I spotted it half flat. And I've seen a lot of people not even notice that. I've had to stop people just before they've been leaving the gate, saying, you know, you've got a flat tyre at the back. They've got out and they've gone, no, I haven't. And then they've looked at it and gone, oh, yeah, I suppose. They've taken it round to the tyre fitter. Usually there's a tyre fitter on site at my place, unless it's lunchtime. They've taken it round to the tyre fitter. He's had a look, yanked a nail out of it. You know, and they were about to go fully loaded on the road. And that's after doing their walk around checks. So always, 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 always check your tyres when you're pulling off the bay. After you've pulled off the bay to close your doors, roll the shutter, whatever. Go and check your tyres. Because you've got to check the security of your load, and you've got to close your back doors or roll the shutter. So you might as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have a look at your tyres either side. Everyone's a winner then. Otherwise you'll be dealing with the blowout down the motorway, fully freighted, wondering why car drivers are screaming at you because you just put their front windshield through. Yes. Oh, I should do my way in, it is a Thursday. You know, just before I do the weigh in, the hours, just over an hour's worth of vlog I uploaded. In total it took 17 consecutive hours to upload that blasted thing. 17 hours! Because I got most of the way through it the first time. And then YouTube's been screwing up recently for me. And I've been going to upload things and it's been going, look, connection lost. Connection lost. And I've been going, oh, really? So I've checked my connection, perfectly fine. Okay, I've got around about a megasecond because my broadband is basically dial-up. And I went to re-upload it last night. And I made sure all the titles were the same, everything like that. It works, everything was identical. Because usually, in that situation, you start uploading and YouTube carries on from where it left off from the last upload. No, it started a whole new upload. So again, it was another 8 and a bit hours. Like you're sitting there and you're thinking, Christ, it's taken 17 hours. You know, obviously with a day split where I've turned my laptop on, to upload this one vlog. But anyway, back to the weighing. How am I doing? Well, I was 15 stone 4, which is 214 pounds. I am now 15 stone 2.5. which is 212.6 pounds. Okie dokie. So I've lost weight. So I'm finding that level now, and I've got to start throwing in a bit of exercise to really start losing weight because of what I want to achieve. I'm not looking forward to that. It's gonna be painful. I want Greg's. But anyway, yes. I'm losing weight, I'm doing well. I've started at 15 stone 8 and a little bit, to be fair. I'm now 15 stone 2.5. I've had, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this my 4th or 5th weigh-in? I can't remember now. So that's in 5 weeks. Not doing too badly, to be fair. But that is changing your diet and changing the volume of food that you eat. I mean, to be fair, I have had a couple of takeaways. I have had some boozy days. You saw the Jack Daniels day. And because of the hours I've been doing this week, where I've been going to Derby and back with other things thrown in for a bit of a laugh, I haven't had too many hours in between my shifts. So I've been having to have the quick meals when I get home. You know, like the chicken nuggets, onion rings, hash browns, that kind of stuff. So even though I've been having that, because I have actually controlled the volume of food I'm eating, not necessarily what I'm eating, I'm losing weight. So it's a bit of, when you're on the road, buy the salads and the fruit. When you're at home, don't have the massive farmyard style dinner. Control what you're eating. I used to use 2 oven pans, I used to use 2 baking trays, a full tin of beans and smods and sods, and a sandwich and a couple of bags of crisps and a Mars and a Magnum as dinner. And I'm talking about the proper family size baking trays, not the little tiny bastards you can get. Now I'm down to half a baking tray, half a can of beans, maybe a bag of crisps, or maybe a Magnum, or maybe a side, and that's it. So I've really halved what I've been eating, and in the last, I think it's about 5 weeks. I haven't really been keeping track of the weeks with everything else that's been going on. So in about 5 weeks I've gone from 15 stone 8 and a little bit to 15 stone 2.5. Just controlling the volumes that I eat. So for anybody out there who's thinking, I'm a bit big but I don't know how to lose weight, I've tried everything. What have I did? Limit the volume that you eat. And when you're on the road, buy the salads, buy the fruit. Even if you have to go into Waitrose and buy the Ponzi stuff that Fastest Fox likes, even if you have to do that, just buy the salads. But there we go. I shall be cracking on with my day. I shall see you a bit later on down the road, because I'll try and keep this one relatively short compared to what I usually do. Although I know I'm going to fail epically. So have fun, and I shall see you in a bit. trundling up the A1 quite nicely. Look at the tailback on that side of the road. Woo. Damn. Glad I don't have to go back this way. One thing I would like to mention about now, there's a lot of new drivers starting to, well, they've created their own YouTube and they're following their progress in driving and getting their HGVs and so on and so forth, which is fine, great, lovely, jubbly, well done to those who managed it. And they're documenting their progress and their first days on the road and so on and so forth. Excellent, wonderful, lovely, jubbly. One thing I want to pick up now is using an electronic device, camera, mobile phone, tablet, whatever, whilst driving is illegal. Okay? My stuff, you've seen photos before now. I've put photos into vlogs, I've put photos on Twitter. You've seen there on suction mounts on the windshield, one's aimed forward, one's aimed at me. And when I've cocked up doing my editing, you know how I sync things together at various points. You know, I give myself the countdown all the time. The thing is, I've got spare batteries, I've got spare SD cards, I've got charging cables and stuff like that. When I'm unloading at a site or I'm not allowed to sit in the cab, my cameras are on charge. You know, they can last all day, just charging them. Plus, like I said, I've got spare batteries. If you are new and you're driving along, well, even if you're experienced, but you're driving along and the camera's sitting there looking at you, you're whatever you're saying, and then you decide you want to show something going on in front of you, and you lean forward, you pick the camera up, turn it round, and then you put it back. All of your concentration is being captured on film of you not concentrating on these, but concentrating down on the camera, leaning forward, doing all the whistles and bells, turning it round, capturing what's going on, then putting your camera back. Firstly, if your boss, who's given you the opportunity as a new driver, sees you doing that, he'll fire you. You're gone. Because you're new. You don't know how these things handle. You have no clue. And there you are, concentrating on shifting the camera and doing all these wonderful bits and bobs. If a member of the law or DVSA see you, your licence will be revoked. You are new. You will get points, a fine, a ban, the works. Remember, you've spent £3.5 grand, roughly, doing your Class 2 and your Class 1. For the sake of a couple of £100, I mean, the SJ cam that I've got, what was it, it was £49 something plus post and packaging. The VO that's staring at me at the moment, the one that's got the better sound quality, that came in at, well, when I first got them, they were 99 quid each. This one was about 120 quid because it wasn't in the sale. So that's something around that area, I can't remember now, but for a couple of £100, you know, the two mounts I've got, 10 quid each, they come with cables and the ability to charge them. You can buy spare batteries for them for sod all, literally a couple of quid. You know, for the sake of a couple of £100, you're risking the licence that cost you £3.5 grand and got you a 25, 30, 40, whatever £1,000 a year job. It's a little bit like regional managers for supermarkets on 60 grand a year getting fired because they got caught taking a Mars bar. Do you see what I mean? I don't interact with my camera whilst I'm driving along. They record me, that's it. When I feel like I want to do a bit of chatting, I will go 3, 2, 1. So as I know where to start it as I'm going through. I know where I ended it. I know roughly where I started again. You know, I download this at the end of the day and I cut things up, delete all the bits and bobs I'm not going to use. And then I go to bed. And then I piece them together when I've got the time. So, if you want to follow your career, please do not record yourselves breaking the law, because there is video evidence that can and will be used against you in a court of law. Breaking the law. Do you see what I mean? You know, what were you doing at that point in time? I was concentrating on driving. No, you weren't. I can see you carrying a camera and doing all this kind of stuff. No, look at that. Look at this person. Look at that person breaking the law. Just think about what you're doing. Think about what you are putting up for everybody to see. Whether you're experienced or whether you're new. Get yourself a couple of taster screen mounts, suction cup mounts, whatever. Right, I'm going to have to slow down for this one. Lovely jubbly. Charles was. You know, think about what's actually going on. And then think about, well, what would a policeman do if he saw you doing that? And then ask yourself, if that same policeman watched your YouTube channel, would he see you doing that? And if the answer is yes, and you know what he would do if he caught you doing that at the time, well, he's caught you doing it. So please guys, take care if you're going to do this. These cameras don't cost that much money. They really don't, in comparison to what you will lose if you lose your license and lose your job. But anyway, it's just something that's been bugging me for a while, because I've seen it on a number of YouTube channels of new guys as well as experienced guys, and it's been bugging me. But anyway, I shall shut up. I've said my little piece. It's up to you whether you follow the law or not. I personally don't give a rat's ass. But I shall carry on with my day and see you a bit later on. And that's the other thing. The reason I keep, you know, saying I shall carry on with my day and see you a little bit later on and stuff like that, it's not so much for you guys. It's actually for me to know, right, that's where he's ended it. In case I forget where I ended up in. You know, I can't remember every section of road where I ended chatting. So when I do that, you know, catch you later guys, see you a bit later on down the road, all that kind of stuff, that's more for me than for you. Just so as when I'm going back through it and I'm skipping that, skipping this, skipping that, oh, it's suddenly gone silent, I go back, oh yeah, that's where it is, okay, cut that. That's how I do it. I mean, you know, I count myself in with the 3, 2, 1 so I can sync the 2 cameras up, and then I end it with a right, see you a bit later on down the road. That is for me, not for you, because you're going to see me in 2 seconds. So you know you're going to see me a bit further on down the road. But they're little tricks that I use when I do this so that I can stay legal. Because you have to be very careful what you upload to the internet, because 1, you can be sued, and 2, you can be nicked. There you go. Anyway, I'll see you a bit later on down the road. Well, made it to my first destination, and it's looking as if I've timed it just as they've gone on break, because they haven't opened, so I might be here a while. Oh well, boo-hoo, paid by the hour and everything like that. Carried on. As I said, I carry spare batteries, 1 for the SJ, 1 for the VO. I've got my little cord that I can plug them in with, and the other one. Sorry, I held that out of the way I think, but yeah, there you go. And that's basically what I do, and of course you've seen the screen mounts, so nobody cares. Oh yes, spare SD card as well. Yes, I put a tweet up, and my other half once got me some skinny jeans, comfort fit I think they're called, some whatever. and they're just not comfortable. They're just not. They're just like, and I tweeted. I went, if men were supposed to wear skinny jeans, we wouldn't have testicles. Oh, wait. And spray on jeans, I think, is the Twitter account that responded. Yeah, the spray on jeans quoted my tweet and went, oh, go away. Oh, did that upset you? Oh. Well, I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, it seems to be it's just me personally. I mean, I don't like them. They're not. They're just a bit horrible. But the thing I've noticed with a lot of them, and I saw it today, is the majority of the guys that I've seen wearing them anyway, I'm not saying that it's only just these kind of guys, but they're really tall and have matchstick style legs. And you look at them and you think, how have you got enough muscle definition to actually be able to walk? Because they literally do. They literally are. I mean, back me up, guys. You've seen them. Their legs are like that. Just thin. It's like... No, I don't have the thickest legs in the world. But it's really weird. But no, I just tweeted it and managed to cause offence to somebody. Oh, what a shame. But yeah, I think what I shall do is bung my SJ on charge whilst I'm here, and that will give me enough battery to do a little bit more. Once I have tipped, I'm trying to think, what way do I want to go? I'm thinking the 47, fly across, pick up the 52 and go that way. But we shall see. We shall see. Anyway. Onwards with my day. Well, I did the drop at Peterborough. I got my Prat Nav going so as I can see how long it's going to take more than anything else. I've been doing the Derby collection for the last couple of days, so I know where it is. I just want to know roughly when I'm going to get there. What I'm going to be facing, that kind of thing, you know. So you're going to hear that going bing bong bang in the background because it's quite close to my cameras today. It usually warns me when there's a speed camera coming up, you know, Travello and all that kind of crap. But I decided not to go the 47 way. I decided to go the 605 A14 M1. Virtually the same kind of time, especially at this time of day, because I'll be going, well, it's, what is it, it's 5 to 4, it's 15:55, so 5 to 4. So of course I'll be wandering through the wonderful rush hour and going the 47 way, avoiding the M1 puts me right round Leicester and various other little places, so it'll be rammed. And I thought, you know what, I'll give Leicester East Services northbound another crack.
After 700 yards, at the roundabout, take the second exit.
There you go, you see, it's telling me where to go. Take the second exit. Okie dokie. Sometimes that catches you out. We'll say, take the third exit. And you'll take the third exit and you go bing, 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 because it doesn't know one of the exits exists. And you're like, oh, where have I gone? And it's quite funny using that because some of the roads that I use, they're new. For example,
now, at the roundabout, take the second exit.
Here she goes again. I hate seeing that sign. Road ahead closed, because your eyes just instantaneously get drawn to the red sign saying road ahead closed, and you think, oh no, 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 no. Fortunately, it's that one, not this one. I was like, oh. But your eyes just instantly get drawn to it and you don't see the diversion to begin with and you're thinking, But no, take for example the A14 slip onto the M1 North. According to my PratNav, that road doesn't exist. And there are a few of them like that. Like the new bypass on the A11, that doesn't exist. So you just watch yourself driving through fields. It's quite funny. I enjoy it. And it completely and utterly confuses the snooper, I'll tell you that. It just totally confuses it. It's just like bing, 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 bing. It's just like, where am I going? And then eventually it just gives up. He's like, oh, well, he's crashed into a field, it's on it. So always be wary. That's, again, I keep saying it, but always be wary of your PratNav. Because there's a lot of stuff your PratNav doesn't actually know. Especially if you're one of these people who doesn't update it very regularly. That's the other thing. Get a PratNav by all means, but every 3 months or so check for updates. Because you never know. You never know. But yeah, I shall crack on down here. Now he overtook me on the 11:39 and he was going a rate of knots and I wasn't. And I know he's loaded and I'm not. Because I caught him up going up one of the hills. And I thought I won't bother overtaking him because he's going a lot faster than me. So it would be unfair for me to go past him just because he's weighted uphill and then pulling in front of him and slow him down for all the flat sections. Turns out he wants to go slower down here than I do. Damn it. We make these mistakes every so often. But I was trying to be nice and now I'm being held up because he doesn't want to go more than 43 miles an hour down here. And of course he's going to be slow taking off from roundabouts because he's fully loaded. So yes, I made a bit of boo-boo. Yes, I shall crack on. See you a little later. Well, hello. Didn't want that. Made it to Leicester Services, and a wagon and drag boy pulled in behind us, and he really couldn't be asked to straighten up, as you'll see in the photo. He wasn't there. I came in just as somebody on one of the end bay opposite the coach bays, if anyone's curious, was pulling away, and I thought, oh, for the win, lovely. So I came in and parked, and in the bay where the wagon and drag guy is was a van and caravan. And I went off, got some food, came back, and I looked down, you know, getting in the cab, so I thought, he couldn't be asked. He's just literally swung in, stopped, sod it, I don't care. And it's kind of annoying in that situation. Hopefully he's waiting for me to leave and then he's going to roll forward. Otherwise he's basically just knackered a bay. He's taken a bay away from somebody else that might need it for a night out. It's just so annoying. Although one thing that does get me, and I'll take a photo of it now, is, well, I'll take a couple of photos actually. There we go. Right. Those are the coach bays. Okie dokie. Massively long. I've never seen a coach that long. And I never realised that that was a coach. But obviously somebody decrees that his little Ford is a coach. But there you go. But anyway, I shall finish off my break and then sod off to, nearly said the company then, it's a Kuhn and Nagel site in Derby, however you want to say it. And then I shall go back. I'm working tomorrow, so that's a bonus. So what I shall do is I shall end my day now, whilst I'm on my break. Because when I get the Commuting site, I'm not allowed to sit in the cab whilst it's being loaded, so I've got to sit in the office, and then once I've done that, I just want to get in and go. And of course, by the time I get back, it'll be dark and yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. So, cheers for watching. Like, subscribe, share about. I will see you in the next one, which will most likely be tomorrow, as long as I've got enough time to download all my cards. And yes, I suppose I should crack on. So cheers, guys. See you later.